All right, welcome. Today we're diving into something I think a lot of us can relate to, money blocks. You know, that feeling of being stuck. But the source material we're exploring today offers a spiritual reason for them that is, well, it's probably one you've never even considered.
So, let's just kick things off with a question that might just flip everything you think you know on its head. What if those financial frustrations, those invisible walls you keep running into, what if they weren't a punishment? What if they weren't a sign of failure, but were actually a form of protection?
I mean, that's the real puzzle, right? You're working hard, you're trying to do all the right things, but you still feel like you're just spinning your wheels in the mud. It's this deeply frustrating feeling, which is exactly why the perspective we're about to explore is so compelling.
And this is where things get really interesting. Instead of pointing to all the usual suspects, the material we're looking at today points to a source that is completely counterintuitive. It suggests there's a kind of spiritual design at play that's actually there for our own good.
Okay, so that leads us to the big question, the million-dollar question, really. If it's not just bad luck or the economy or something we did wrong, what is the spiritual source of these blocks? What's actually going on behind the curtain? Okay, get ready for this. Because the answer that our source gives, it completely turns the whole idea of financial struggle upside down. It suggests the cause isn't what we think it is at all.
And boom, there it is. The central claim is that a higher power actually placed these hidden money blocks inside your consciousness to protect you. The source is really clear on this. This is not a punishment. It's about making sure the timing is right, and more importantly, that your character is ready.
This whole idea has a name, protection before permission. And it's all about learning to reframe what feels like a hard limitation and starting to see it as what the source calls a loving boundary. It's a not yet, not a no. The way the source explains this is just brilliant. Think about it like this. To a little kid, a locked cabinet full of sharp tools seems mean, right? It's just a restriction, a punishment. But from the parent's point of view, what is it? It's love, it's safety, it's protection. The limitation is only there until the child is mature enough to handle those tools without hurting themselves.
And that is exactly why this protection might be in place. The source argues that getting a bunch of money before you're ready for it is like pouring gasoline on a fire. It just amplifies all your unresolved stuff. It can turn a little bit of fear into crippling anxiety, or a tiny bit of pride into some really destructive arrogance. In this light, the block is actually a safeguard.
So what does ready even look like, spiritually speaking? Well, the source material gives us these beautiful benchmarks. It's not about having a perfect spreadsheet. It's about your inner world. Can you receive a gift without it throwing you into chaos? Can you have more without becoming a different, less humble person? Can you increase your wealth without ditching your values? That's the real capacity the blessing is waiting for. Okay, so if the block is there for our protection, the next logical question is, how do we get ready? How do we signal that we're mature enough to handle the tools? Well, the source points to a very specific tool for building this spiritual readiness, Psalm 112.
Now this part is so important. The source is really clear that Psalm 112 isn't some kind of magic spell you chant to make money appear. No. Think of it more like the designated key that starts the engine of your own maturity. It's for formation, not just for getting.
There's this one line in it that's just a game changer. Wealth and riches are in their houses. Now listen to how that's phrased. It's not a request, it's a declaration. It's a statement of reality. It's suggesting that provision and abundance are just the natural environment, the natural house, for a person who has cultivated that kind of mature character we just talked about.
So here's the big shift in thinking. When you recite this psalm, according to the source, you're doing so much more than just asking for stuff. You're sending up a flare. You're basically signaling, hey God, I'm not just asking for the prize, I'm signing up for the training, I'm ready to be formed.
And all of this inner work, it leads us to the final piece of the puzzle, aligning with abundance. This is where we shift from desperately chasing after it to building a powerful inner posture of readiness. I just love this line from the source material. Abundance is a posture. Isn't that great?
it just perfectly captures the whole idea. It's not about running after something that's out there. It's about how you stand, how you carry yourself on the inside, a consciousness of trust and stewardship instead of lack and struggle.
So you might be wondering, how does a psalm actually do that? How does it create this posture? Well, the source breaks it down into these 3 alignment channels that it works on simultaneously. First, your identity. It helps you see yourself as the person the psalm describes. Then it shifts your attention. You start to notice provision everywhere, not just potential threats. And finally, that changes your action. You start behaving like a calm steward, not a frantic struggler. And listen, this isn't about just sitting in a room and thinking happy thoughts. The source is super clear that you have to pair this inner alignment with real, grounded, practical action. These are small things, right? Tracking your spending for just 10 minutes, but with a feeling of calm. Improving one tiny skill. Giving something away with genuine joy. Each one of these is like a vote for your new identity, proving you're ready.
So this really leaves us with one last powerful question to think about for ourselves. When you think about your own financial life, what's the real next step? Is it another new strategy, another hustle out there in the world? Or is it this deep inward alignment that actually makes you ready for everything you're asking for? Something to think about. Thanks so much for digging into this with me today.